Okay, welcome to Lesson 7, Formulas, Ratios, and Percents. And to start off with, I'm asking you the question, what is a formula? So go ahead and pause the video now and discuss with your group what you think a formula is. Okay. A formula in algebra, if we're talking about one, it normally means it's something that relates two or more different types of quantities. A very common formula you might encounter is a temperature conversion formula. Like if we wanted to convert to Celsius and we knew Fahrenheit, we would say that Celsius C equals 5/9 times F minus 32. And the nice thing that we can do with formulas is that we can manipulate them and move them around to see what else we can figure out. So this says C equals. Well, let's say we wanted to make it Fahrenheit equals. What if we knew Celsius and we wanted to find Fahrenheit? Well, we can work this formula around. All we have to do is just solve for F. So the first thing we do would be to move this 5/9. So we divide by 5/9. But if you remember, you can't divide by a fraction. You have to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 9/5 to both sides. So what we have now is 9/5 C for Celsius equals F for Fahrenheit minus 32. Then all we need to do is add 32. And we see that Fahrenheit equals 9/5 C plus 32. Now I'm not going to be asking you to manipulate a formula as complicated as this. I'll be asking you to do some more simpler ones. But the general idea is there. It's just you are moving everything else away from what you want. We wanted to solve for F, so we got F by itself. Here are two formulas. The first one on the left says density equals mass over volume, and I'm asking you to solve for mass, which is m. And the second one is distance equals rate times time, and I'm asking you to solve for time. Both of these formulas are very useful, and you will most likely use them as you go along in high school. So I want you now to go ahead, pause the video, and solve both of these for the indicated variable. Okay, let's solve for m in density. So we know that density equals mass divided by volume. So we want to move the divided by volume. So to do that, we're going to multiply by volume, V. And we see that m equals V times D. These variables work like numbers, so we can manipulate them and treat them like they're numbers. So we have density equals rate times time. Solve for t, we're going to divide by r. So we see that t equals d times r. Next, let's talk about ratios and rates. A ratio is a comparison of two things, and it's represented by a fraction, a over b, with a colon, a to b, or it's actually written out as a to b. A over b is also called a rate. Like you would say miles per hour. It's miles over hours. That per word is the fraction part. It tells you that there is this fraction bar right here. Or miles per gallon. Ratios must always be in simplified form. So you can't have a ratio that is not simplified. So for example, it says you run a 10-mile race in 75 minutes. What is your average speed in miles per minute? So we're looking for miles per minute. which means it's going to be miles over minutes. So let's see, how many miles did we run? We ran 10 miles in 75 minutes. Now what we need to do is see if this is in simplified form. And it's not. We can simplify this further. These are both divisible by 5. And we get 2 over, oops, no, it goes into it, 15, yep, should be, oh, I was right, it is 2 over 15, second guess myself. So now it's 2 over 15, and this is miles per minute. Next, let's talk about percents. A percent is a ratio that compares to 100. It can be written as a fraction, a decimal, or a number with a percent sign. So here we have 3 ways to write it. The first is 39 over 100. Next is 0.39. And then finally we have 39%. And these are all equivalent. They all equal the same thing.